Hello children, welcome to today's session of online class of Sri Gokulam Public School Guruvayur. Children, in our previous class of business study, we have discussed the topic motivation. We saw the different terms related to the topic motivation. We also saw the features of motivation. I hope you have read the textbook covering those points. Today we will discuss a very important topic related to motivation, that is Maslow's need hierarchy theory of motivation. The famous psychologist, that is Abraham Maslow, propounded need hierarchy theory of motivation. In his theory, it is based on human needs. Maslow felt that within every human being there exists a hierarchy of 5 needs. So within every person there is an existence of 5 levels of needs, and they are basic psychological needs, safety and security needs, social affiliation or belonging needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization needs. You can see a pictorial or a pyramid form or representation of those needs. The first need is the basic psychological needs. The example of such type of need is hunger, thirst, shelter, and sleep. So this is the basic necessity of every human being. So only when we satisfy this type of need, a person can think about moving to the next level of need, that is safety and security needs. How can this need for an individual be satisfied? By providing protection against danger and safety of property, a person can satisfy this level of need. A human being build a house. Why? To protect themselves from dangers, isn't it? So that through constructing a house or keeping their property in bank, like cash and gold and all that, they can keep in bank lockers and thereby provide safety to their protection. Taking insurance is also a way of keeping their product, that is their property safe. So this is how safety or security needs of an individual person can be satisfied. So once this need is satisfied, a person will move to the next level of need, that is affiliation or belongingness needs. So this person, an individual person, he needs affiliation or acceptance or sense of belonging. He needs family, he needs friends. So for that he form a social group. So through that he satisfy his needs. Next level need is the esteem needs. Now he have a society, he have a friends, he have relatives. So he wants some status among this society. So that comes under esteem needs. To satisfy these needs, people purchase luxurious car, they go for purchasing jewelry, and all those they do all those things which will increase their status and self-respect. Okay, so this comes under esteem needs. Next is the self-actualization needs. Satisfying these needs means it is a growth, satisfaction of growth and self-fulfillment. So this is the last level of need, that is self-actualization need. So this was a pictorial, or we can say a pyramid form of Maslow's need hierarchy. Okay, now let us discuss each of these needs. The first need is the basic psychological needs. These needs are related to survival and maintenance of human life. So for our maintenance and survival of our life, we have to satisfy these needs. We already saw the examples of these needs, so that is hunger, thirst, shelter, and sleep are some of the basic necessity of every human being or individuals. So satisfaction of these needs is very relevant for our survival. Now, as we are studying the subject business studies, and our subject is related to organization and achievement of goal and all that, so we have to think from organization's point of view. How this Maslow's need hierarchy theory is useful to the organization. So the organization satisfy these needs by giving basic salary to the employees. See, our subject is related to management. We have to manage the employees. We want to make them work. So to make them work, we have to provide them motivation. So in what way we have to provide motivation? What are the different needs of that employees? As per that, we have to motivate them. So the organization satisfy these needs by giving basic salary to the employee. So the first level of need, that is basic psychological needs of an employee, can be satisfied by providing them basic salary. Okay. Now the next level of need is the safety or security needs. This need provides security and protection from physical and emotional harms. So from the individual point of view, a human being or a person needs security or protection of physical as well as emotional from physical as well as emotional harm. So to protect themselves from physical harm, they are building or they are living in a house, so that they get the protection from the climate changes and protection from the animals and all that. So for protecting themselves from physical harm, they are making themselves secure. So that is the satisfaction of their needs. Okay. So how an organization, what the organization does to satisfy these needs of the employees. The organization satisfy these needs by providing job security to the employee, stability of income, pension plan. These all are examples of safety needs provided by the organization to motivate the employees. Okay. Next is the social or affiliation or belongingness needs. These are the different terms used for the needs. So we can call it social needs, we can know it as a affiliation, or we can also call it as a belongingness needs. These needs refer to affection, acceptance, friendship, sense of belongingness, etc. So people see, we all are social animals, isn't it? We live in group. So our social needs is satisfied when we are with our friends, we are with our relatives, and a sense of belongingness is there when we are in group. So these needs refers to social needs, means satisfaction of these all concepts. From organization's point of view, the organization satisfy these needs through informal organization. We have studied in organization chapter about formal organization and informal organization. Formal organization is one which is prepared by the organization. It has some structure and very strictly we have to follow that. But in that formal organization, we have an informal organization that is created by employees to satisfy their social needs. So the organization satisfy their social needs by allowing them to create the informal organization. Employee can have a cordial relationship among each other. So this way organizations satisfy the social need of the employees. Next is the esteem needs. Esteem needs include factors such as self-respect, status, then recognition and attention. So getting the recognition, a status. As a status symbol, the rich people, they buy car and a luxurious car and all that. So that is their status symbol, isn't it? So they satisfy their esteem needs by purchasing those luxurious things and gaining the attention of the people. They want recognition in the society. So these all come under the esteem needs. How the organization can satisfy the employees' esteem needs? The organization satisfy this need by giving job titles, recognition, etc. So various recognition programs are arranged by the organization, in which employee who is performing very well, they are rewarded, and even job title, higher position or promotion is provided to this employee, so that his status, his responsibility, and that is he get a better job title. So through that his esteem need is satisfied, and hence other employees are also motivated when they see that employee is getting recognition and job title because of better performance. So they will also perform in the same way. Next is the self-actualization need. It is the highest level of need in the hierarchy. It refers to the drive to become what he is capable of becoming. So one person, what he is using his full potential and he is putting it in his work. So this need includes growth, self-fulfillment, and achievement of goal. So this need will be satisfied when he achieve his goal. So with the achievement of his goal, we can say that self-actualization need have been achieved. From the organization points of view, the organization satisfies this need by allowing the employees to take initiative to become what they are capable of becoming. So here the employee is getting an initiative. He is allowed to do what he is capable of becoming. He can show his full potential and thereby increase the his performance and his there is a development of his career and growth opportunity too. So the organization, by giving initiative to the employee, satisfy the self-actualization needs of the employee. Thereby the employee can show his full potential. Now Maslow's theory is based on some assumptions. Only when this 4 assumption is satisfied, this theory can be actually get affected or get started. The first one is people's behavior is based on their needs. So we saw that those needs it is based on their behavior. So every person's behavior is different. So on the according to the difference in their behavior, we have to provide them. It is as per their behavior that this needs are based. Satisfaction of such needs influence their behavior. So with the satisfaction of those needs, their behavior gets changed. Next point is people's needs are in hierarchical order, starting from the basic needs to other higher level needs. So we saw the pyramid in which basic need is the first level need, and after satisfaction of basic needs, the other needs will come. So it should go in that hierarchical order. Okay, without satisfying the basic need, the person cannot move to the next level of need. Now the third point is the satisfied need can no longer motivate a person. Only higher level need can motivate him. So for give an example related to this point, we can say that a parent gives some chocolate to this child and says that if you do this, I will give you chocolates. So that child already has some chocolate. Now you cannot motivate that child by offering more chocolates, because he have already chocolate with him. So to make that child obey you, you have to give him some other needs. You have to satisfy some other need of that child. Okay, like offering him that is a cycle and all that. So or some other things. So satisfying the same satisfied need can no longer motivate a person. Only the next level can motivate him. Then the fourth point is a person moves to the higher level of hierarchy only when the lower need is satisfied. So only when the lower need is satisfied, a person can think about the next level of need. So after satisfying each level of need, a person moves to the next level. An unsatisfied need cannot make the person to move to the next level of need. So these 4 assumptions have to be satisfied, then only the Maslow's need theory will work. In today's class, we will discuss about the various financial and non-financial incentives. This is also related to motivation. Now let us see what are the different financial and non-financial incentives. But before that, let us see what is incentives. Incentives means all measures which are used to motivate people to improve performance. So to improve the performance of the employees, the company is using different incentives. Okay, that can be in the form of financial incentives or non-financial incentives. Now here is financial incentives. It refers to incentives which are in direct monetary form or measurable in monetary terms and serves to motivate people for better performance. So here it is in direct monetary form and we can measure it in monetary terms, and these incentives are used to motivate people so that they can perform well. Now here are some lists of financial incentives. The first one is pay and allowance. For every employee, salary is the basic financial incentives. We know that all the employees, whoever is working in any organization, the basic motive behind working there is the salary. So that is the basic financial incentives. It includes basic pay, year-end allowances and other allowances. Now next one is the profit sharing. Employees are given a share in the profit of the organization. So beside their basic salaries, they are also given profit of the organizations. Okay, they will also share some part of the profit of the organization. So this motivates them to improve their performance and contribute to increase the profit of the organization. So as they know that if the profit of the organization is increasing, they will and they will get a part or a share in that profit, they will perform more. Okay, so according to their performance, the profit of the organization will increase, and they will also share, the employees will also share that part of the profit of the organization. Then the third point is co-partnership or stock option. Here, under this incentive scheme, employees are offered company shares at the price lower than the market price. So under co-partnership or stock option plan, the employees are offered by the company's share at price which is lower than the market price. So if the employees are going to the market and purchasing their share, they will get it in the original rate. But here the company is giving offering these shares to the employees at the price which is lower than the market price. So it is a sort of financial incentives given to the employees. So that will create a feeling of ownership to the employees, and they will contribute more to the growth of the organization. Okay. Next point is bonus. Bonus is an incentive offered over and above the wages or salary to the employees. So bonus is something more provided to the employee which is more than the fifth point is productivity linked wages incentives. This incentive aims at linking payment of wages to increase productivity. That is higher rate of wage for greater productivity. So here wages of the employees linked with what they produce. So if they are producing more, they will get wages more. So it is like incentive, motivation for the employees to work more and produce more. Next point is retirement benefits. Several retirement benefits such as provident fund, pension and gratuity provide financial security to employees after their retirement. This acts as an incentive when they are in service in the organization. So you may have heard about PF, that is provident fund, and pension and gratuity and all that terms. So that also is a factor of attraction for the employee to apply for the job. So that act as these things, that is retirement benefit, they act as an incentive, or it provide a motivation to the employee to work when they are in the service. Next is prerequisites. In many companies, prerequisites and fringe benefits such as car allowance, housing, medical aid, education to the children, etc. are offered to employee over and above the salary. So in many big companies, they offer beyond their salaries and all that, above their salaries, the employees are offered many different types of perquisites, that is allowances, housing, medical facility and education to the employees' children. So these all are sort of incentives, that is financial incentives, which motivate the employees. So these are the 7 list of financial incentives. Now here are the non-financial incentives. So this beyond financial incentive, there are some list of non-financial incentives also. All the needs of individuals are not satisfied by money alone. Psychological, social and emotional factors also play important role in providing motivation. Non-financial incentives mainly focus on these needs. So non-financial incentives are one which satisfy our social, emotional and psychological factors, or it provide motivation to those factors. Now the first among that list is recognition. Recognition means acknowledgement with a show of appreciation. So appreciation is to be provided to the employee to make him motivated. When employees are appreciated for their good performance of work, they feel motivated. So appreciation is equally important to the employee to get motivated. So for that, various employee recognition programs are provided by the organization, such as congratulating the employee for good performance, installing award or a certificate for best performance, then rewarding an employee for giving valuable suggestions, then displaying on the notice board about the achievement of employee, distributing mementos and complimentaries like t-shirts, and is a recognition of employee service. So these are some of the recognition program provided to the employee, okay, which comes under non-financial incentives. Next is the status. In the organization context, status means ranking or position in the organization. The authority, responsibility, reward, recognition, perquisites, and prestige of job indicate the status given to a manager. Psychological, social, and esteem needs of an individual are satisfied by status given to their job. So status is one type of non-financial incentives. So through status also the employee get motivated, as he is not only given a position, higher position in the organization, but the many other factors like esteem needs, social needs, and psychological needs of this employee is satisfied. Okay. Next is career advancement opportunity. Every individual wants to grow to the higher level in the organization. We know that we don't have to stick in one position. We want to grow. As organization grow, each and every individual also want to get a position which is more or higher in level. He want to grow in that organization. Along with that organization, he also need to grow. Managers should provide opportunity to employees to improve their skills and be promoted to the higher level jobs. So here the manager is making a he is a person who should provide opportunity to the employees so that they can improve their skill and promote to higher level jobs. Promotion works as a tonic and encourages employees to improve their performance. So promotion is like a tonic to the employee through which they can perform or improve their performance. Next is job security. So employees want their job to be secured. Okay, job security ensures stability of future income, which motivate employee to work with great zeal. So here the job security act as a non-financial incentives. If job security is there with the employee, he is equally motivated there because there is a stability of future income. Okay. Next is employee participation. It means involving employee in decision making. Participation means what? Making employee participate in decision making of the issues related to them. So here we are taking up their suggestions also. Examples of employee participation program include joint management committee, work committee, canteen committee. So here in these areas we are involving employees also, so that they get a participation. They also participate in the affairs of the organization. Next is organizational climate. Organizational climate indicate the characteristic which describe an organization and distinguish one organization from the other. So here organization climate refers to the working condition. Okay, so each organization, they have their own working condition. So there is every organization have a unique or different way of working. So what makes that employee stick on to that work is its organizational climate. Okay, so that also distinguishes one organization from the other, and through organizational climate we are actually providing the employee non-financial incentives. Okay. Next is employee empowerment. Employee empowerment, giving more autonomy and power to the subordinates. So here they are getting more power. Okay, this motivates them to use their skills and talent in the job performance. So through job empowerment we are giving them freedom, okay, power to work in that organization. So they are getting an chance to initiate the to show the potential or skill or talent in them through in the job performance. Now next is the job enrichment. Job enrichment is concerned with designing jobs that include greater variety of job content, requires higher level of knowledge and skill, gives workers more autonomy and responsibility, and provide opportunity for personal growth. So job enrichment means we are creating a post in which is covered with greater variety of job content. Different types of variety of job is there in that job enrichment or job position, and higher level of knowledge and skill is required to do that job, and we are placing that employee over that, making the employee believe that he is skillful and intelligent enough to handle that position. So that is actually a motivation to the employee. Okay, so with greater responsibility, he is handling more responsible job. That feeling is every time within that employee, and his contribution to the organization will be more, as that that job enrichment feeling is there within him. Okay, so these all are the type of financial and non-financial incentives. Children, now let us discuss about the difference between financial and non-financial incentives. Meaning and examples. Financial incentives are in direct monetary form and it can be measured. We know some of the examples of financial incentives are pay and allowances, profit sharing, stock option, bonus, retirement benefits, and perquisites. The next is the non-financial incentives. This cannot be measured in money terms, but it provide psychological and emotional satisfaction to the employees and managers. For example, status, promotion, then recognition, job enrichment, job security are the examples of this. The next is the level of employees. Financial incentives are more suitable for lower level of employees because money is a means to satisfy their needs. So those employees who are working in the lower level of management, they are more attractive to the financial incentives. But in case of non-financial incentives, we can say it is suitable for a higher level of employees whose needs are not satisfied by the money alone. Next is need satisfaction. Financial incentive helps to satisfy basic psychological needs of the employees. So basic psychological needs means we know that we have studied in Maslow's need hierarchy theory. So in that, basic salary and allowances are some of the psychological needs. So that can be satisfied with the financial incentives. And non-financial incentives, they satisfy the psychological, social, and esteem needs of the employees. So from that Maslow's need hierarchy theory, we can say that psychological, social, and esteem needs, that categories of needs are satisfied through non-financial incentives.